building the claw right now, which is what you just showed the picture of. That's the lighting grid that I wanted so that when we're filming this fight, you won't see a light, a microphone, any lighting grid. What all you will see is the full White House in the back while you're watching the fight. And if it goes the other way, you'll see the Washington Monument. And obviously, we've run in.
Welcome, combat sports fans, to an in-depth breakdown of a financial earthquake that is currently rattling the mixed martial arts world to its very core.
Wait. Or ask you to fight some former champ, or ask somebody to fight somebody, you know, like on the ranks. I don't know. If he and Makhachev happen in August, I'm gonna fight the winner. No, I don't need to fight somebody and then go to the belt. But let's see, you know, like Makhachev don't fight too much. Sometimes got injuries or things like that. But I'm really confident that fight gonna happen in August, 15 August.
Like, why pretend like that's not a thing?
I've long wondered why Dana White blatantly lies on some of these things that just don't require it.
Just be like, yeah, I wanted to F with him.
Yeah, I was f***ing with him.
I guess that's the acknowledgement that he doesn't want to make, even though the real.
But it does the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like the cover up is worse than the crime. You know, like why go to these lengths to lie about it? Just be like, yeah, what'd you think of that? You know, that if Eddie Hearn was standing there, what do you think his reaction would be if asked that question? He'd be like, I was messing with him. It's bands. It's good fun. Don't you love it? Like, it's just weird. I don't even understand what the motivation is because it's so transparent.
Did not happen during a formal press conference, nor was it issued via a meticulously polished press release by a corporate publicist. Instead, the combat sports landscape was thrown into absolute disarray through a raw, unedited live stream. UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland was simply sitting in front of a camera alongside internet personality Nina Drama, scrolling through his phone. They were reviewing the freshly published Forbes 2026 list of the world's 50 highest paid athletes when the numbers on the screen triggered an instant, unfiltered meltdown. The economic elite of global sports featured familiar icons at the absolute top. For the fourth consecutive year, football megastar Cristiano Ronaldo claimed the pinnacle with an estimated $300 million in total revenue. Right behind him, boxing icon Canelo Alvarez secured the number 2 position, netting a staggering $170 million. For Strickland, these names were expected. Ronaldo is an international marketing juggernaut, and Canelo is a generational boxing cash cow. The tipping point came further down the rankings. Positioned at number 23 was Jake Paul, boasting a massive $70 million in total earnings. Watching a former Disney star and YouTube creator secure such wealth broke the UFC champion's patience. Strickland, who has built his reputation on absorbing damage, bleeding in the octagon, and defeating the most dangerous elite martial artist on earth, could not hide his disbelief. He openly demanded that the UFC terminate his contractual obligations so he could pursue an astronomical boxing payday against Paul.
Just his last fight, bro. It's just his last fight.
Is just his last fight? We had a conversation about this when we talked about this.
No, he said it. No, Justin Gaethje confirmed it. I started outside fighting. Now I'm gonna end it outside fighting. So it's gonna be his last fight, bro. You know.
Wow.
You're a little older than Justin. You're a couple years older than Justin. I know I'm a actually we're the same age, Kamaru D.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Henry. If it is his last fight, that will make me sad. Like, and I don't think people get it yet. I think people are just saying what they want, but I don't think they understand that yet. When Justin Gaethje says, "I'm done," we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him because he is done.
Dude, Justin Gaethje is a dude. He just fucking speaks his mind, bro. I love him.
Exactly. And so we're gonna miss him when he says, "I'm finished." Man, we're gonna feel that. We're gonna feel it.
Strickland calculated the raw arithmetic on air, noting that even a minor fraction of Paul's fight revenue would eclipse his lifetime earnings under the UFC banner. Also in the gaping financial canyon, boxing versus MMA. The underlying irritation for Strickland and subsequently the entire UFC roster is not just that Jake Paul is wealthy, but that the UFC is completely unrepresented among the world's top 50 athletic earners. The promotional powerhouse has just come off a historic stretch of breaking viewership records on television, featuring dominant global champions like light heavyweight kingpin Alex Pereira and featherweight champion Ilia Topuria. Yet, neither cracked the top 50 list. In fact, no mixed martial artist did. The 2026 Forbes publication confirmed that the financial pinnacle of combat sports remains firmly rooted in the boxing ring, as Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul stood as the sole combat sports representatives. The historical data paints an even bleaker picture for MMA fighter pay transparency and growth. On Townie, Comeniad Sport, quantifying Manja, Cristiano Ronaldo, football, #1, $300 million, Sinuum dollar genit kundaf, Nyoen minolam dium, Quanelo nubintud, Tuteno ronio, Quanelo Alvarez, boxing, Quanelo Renanbisuindi $1 million, Toneler Jake Tumnun, $1,017,000, $3, Tumum Nilan, Quanelo Alvinjut, all UFC fighters, MMA, unranked, top 50, $0, inside top 50. The last time an MMA athlete entered this financial elite tier was Conor McGregor in 2021, a feat he achieved primarily due to his massive crossover boxing spectacle years prior. Since then, despite generating billions in corporate revenue, the UFC has not produced a single individual on the Forbes Top 50 list in half a decade. Arnin de WNNumgin nimetain si berial huvam prinodi mitoris nimio. To understand why Strickland is wielding a metaphorical flamethrower toward UFC management, one must examine the 12-month financial window tracking from May 1, 2025 to May 2026. Paul's entry into the $70 million bracket, consisting of $60 million from direct fight purses and $10 million from external sponsorships and merchandise ventures, was fueled by a seismic heavyweight boxing match against Anthony Joshua on December 19, 2025. Held at the Casillas Center in Miami, Florida, the blockbuster event was broadcast globally via Netflix as part of the streaming giant's aggressive expansion into live sporting events.
Like you versus Ronda is a massive fight. Like that is the completion of her story and perhaps maybe yours in MMA as well. Do you have interest in pursuing that?
I've always been open to a rematch with her since the day the fight was over. Said if she wants a rematch, I'm game anytime. I've always said I'm good with a rematch. You know, right after the fight, it was, hey, do you want to wait for the fight with Ronda? I said, well, sure. How long are we going to wait? And there was no answer because we had no answer from her. She didn't say yes. She just, nothing. And I was like, well, I don't want to just sit and wait because I don't know if she'll ever want to fight or ever want a rematch, or if she does come back, will it be with me? So I don't know. There was no answer. So I chose to keep fighting, and then I think it was over a year after we fought, and she fought Nunez and was done. But I've always said I would rematch her, and I still would to this day. I just think that she wanted to come back, have a fight, and be done, and no hate on her for that. But
so based on what you're hearing from her and feeling, do you think she's open to it? Do you think there's a chance? I know I asked her a million times, and she said she wants to have babies.
I don't think so.
You don't feel that?
I think she just wanted the fight that she had, and that's it.
Media insights and data from Celebrity Net Worth indicated a staggering total purse of $184 million, allowing both Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua to reportedly secure around $92 million gross each. Prominent combat sports journalist Ariel Helwani later clarified that after accounting for various promotional expenses, Paul's walkaway take-home revenue sat comfortably in the $40 million to $50 million range. This incredible payout was generated despite the fact that Paul actually lost the bout to Joshua and suffered a fractured jaw. Prior to this event, Paul had built his record by fighting aging legends like Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, Mike Tyson, and Nate Diaz, but the Netflix distribution network fundamentally transformed his earnings ceiling. The event drew an average minute audience of 33 million viewers globally, capturing the #1 trending spot across 45 nations, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Canada. This built heavily on his November 2024 clash against Mike Tyson, which set a historic high-water mark of 108 million peak viewers. Arjina Norozidam Abatonam Minain Tobilet Predes. Now contrast those boxing figures against the financial reality of elite mixed martial arts. Just weeks prior to this stream, Sean Strickland solidified his status as an elite draw by executing a massive upset victory over the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev in the main event of UFC 328, reclaiming the UFC Middleweight World Championship. The financial breakdown of that elite pay-per-view card reveals a bizarre payroll structure. Khamzat Chimaev's payout. Despite losing the contest, Chimaev walked away with approximately $3 million thanks to a lucrative, bumped-up contract that guaranteed his fee regardless of the performance outcome. Sean Strickland's payout. The victorious new champion received a flat $1 million purse along with his gold belt. The mathematical disparity. Sean Strickland fought 5 grueling rounds of championship mixed martial arts against an elite challenger to earn $1 million. Meanwhile, Jake Paul boxed for just 6 rounds, lost, broke his jaw, and took home between 40 to 50 times what the UFC champion made in a single night. WWE. Strickland's career disclosed purses currently total roughly $6 billion, with external metrics placing his liquid net worth around $4 million to $5 million. His highest single fight compensation came at UFC 293 in September 2023, when he earned an estimated $1.53 million for upsetting Israel Adesanya. Consequently, Strickland's entire lifetime earnings across dozens of professional UFC fights failed to match what Jake Paul brought home from a single evening in Miami. Paul's promotional freedom through co-founding Most Valuable Promotions has allowed him to accumulate a net worth approaching $200 million, exposing a massive financial gap. But in the structural hurdles and future transitions, this isn't the first time Strickland has encountered contract hurdles with the promotion. He previously labeled the organization's payment models as predatory. He revealed that Jake Paul once offered him a $1 million cash incentive to participate in a high-profile sparring session ahead of Paul's March 2 bout against Ryan Borland.
Сам бы с Топурик хотел, потому что рано или поздно встретятся.
Много разговоров, много обсуждений по этому бою, но и сам Топурия знает, и его команда знает, почему в White House не получился бой Топурия против Махачева. Главное событие в White House, думаю, конечно, Гейтс тоже не списывая со счетов. Старый, сбитый летчик с большим опытом. Но Топурия более молодой. Будет хороший бой для фанатов. Я считаю, что этот бой точно не пройдет всю дистанцию. И больше склоняюсь, что Топурия.
Strickland directly approached UFC executive Hunter Campbell to ask for permission, arguing it was an easy payday similar to Conor McGregor's crossover bout with Floyd Mayweather. According to Strickland, the UFC promptly blocked the move. Management dismissed Paul's actual drawing power, asserting that his core audience consisted of adolescents who do not purchase traditional pay-per-view products. Even simple public interactions have faced friction. When Strickland's coach, Eric Nixick, requested tickets for Strickland to attend an MVP promotion event to support his close friend Francis Ngannou, the situation quickly devolved into a publicly managed controversy. Fighter discontent is further complicated by the UFC's broad broadcasting pivot.
He's the favorite for a reason. I think he's just going to be too much and he's going to get the KO victory. And he could get the KO victory early rounds. If Justin Gaethje is quite defensive, you might see it go into the second round, maybe the third. But as soon as Gaethje opens up, you're going to see a finish. That's what I truly do believe. But I think Justin Gaethje showed me enough where it can be defensive and maybe not make it so easy as people think for Ilya to just catch him straight away. He's not as aggressive as people think. He is when he chooses to fire, but he's quite defensive before then.
2025 media rights partnership with Paramount moved major events to a standard subscription model on Paramount Plus, effectively dismantling the traditional pay-per-view bonus system. While this provides fans with cheaper access and gives the promotion guaranteed corporate revenue, it removes clear pay-per-view point data for athletes, replacing it with a more secretive negotiation format for discretionary locker room bonuses. As a result, elite athletes are increasingly looking toward the exit. Featherweight champion Ilia Topuria has openly stated his intentions to eventually transition to traditional boxing once his MMA career winds down, acknowledging that the financial ceiling within the octagon cannot compete with modern streaming-backed boxing economics. As a conclusion, a tipping point for the sport, while Sean Strickland is slated for a massive, highly anticipated world title rematch against Khamzat Chimaev, his public cut my contract declaration has exposed a deep structural rift that corporate PR can no longer hide. The elite championship belt in MMA no longer represents the financial pinnacle of combat sports, and the athletes are no longer staying quiet about it. Thank you so much for tuning into this deep dive into the financial realities of modern combat sports, and we truly appreciate your time and support.
With Ilia, he's going to know to be defensive. So I think you're going to see a lot of shelling up, maybe still putting pressure, still getting in a position where Ilia's can fire, but defensive enough to just not give him clear shots. Does that wear Ilia down? Let's see. But my pick is going to be Ilia knocked out in them first couple, maybe 3 rounds. That's my prediction for the main event of the
discussion. Given the massive financial disparity highlighted by the Forbes list, do you believe the UFC will eventually be forced to restructure its fighter payment model to prevent its biggest stars from leaving for boxing, or will organizational leverage always outweigh individual athlete demands? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.